Where is Sandy Springs? To get to this Sandy Springs, you have to go about 8 minutes north of Midtown Metro Atlanta. The area includes the whole top left of the I-285 North. Sandy Springs is still in Fulton County. The I-285 is a circular interstate that surrounds Atlanta. Sandy Springs sits in between the cities of Marietta and Norcross. To get here, you can drive the Georgia 400 North from Midtown, or the I-285 in either direction. If you make it into Alpharetta, you've traveled too far north. Why move to Atlanta? When most people mention Atlanta, we are affectionately talking about Metro Atlanta. Metro Atlanta includes the Midtown Atlanta area plus the surrounding suburbs. You can get a good idea of what you would be getting into if you decided to make this your home. I make these moving to Atlanta videos for the kind of people who have the gall to believe in themselves, take a leap of faith, and are willing to try something new. Don't be afraid to move to Atlanta if it's what you dream about doing. I will keep showing you the neighborhoods on my drive-arounds, so subscribe and like the video. Just remember that these drives cost a lot in gas money, yet I will never ask that you donate. It was my choice to provide this informational entertainment. All I ask is that you find time to download one of these free apps from the App Store or Google Play. These apps will give you cash back on gas and groceries. The points I'll get from your downloads of these excellent apps will go directly to my car's gas and wear and tear. With Get Upside, you get cash back from your normal gas and food purchases. Use my code APJ57. With Fetch Rewards, you will earn thousands of points for gift cards simply by taking pictures of your grocery store receipts. Use my code Y4GMF6. Is Sandy Springs nice? Yes, Sandy Springs is very nice. It's a city that sits right over Buckhead, which is one of the richest areas in Metro Atlanta. In Sandy Springs, you may hear about the King and Queen buildings as a landmark, according to visitsandysprings.org. While big city excitement is only minutes away, we are surrounded by more than 950 acres of parks and natural areas. So, experience the best of the modern South. Enjoy the big city one moment and the warm hospitality of the hundreds of independently owned restaurants and shops the next. What is there to do in Sandy Springs? There is entertainment for the entire family. Abernathy Greenway Park, which was subnamed the Playable Art Park by Atlanta Magazine, speaks to anyone who lives and breathes art and the outdoors. Act 3. Productions is a black box theater that would have you believe Broadway isn't the place to find potential Tony Award winners. Battle and Brew is a hybrid restaurant where patrons can play game night trivia games while eating burgers and drinking beer. Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area gives you the country outdoors feeling. City Springs Theater Company. Mastermind Escape Games. How much does it cost to live in Sandy Springs? If you just look around or meet any of its residents, you will feel like everyone in Sandy Springs is rich beyond belief. In 2021, the median household income of Sandy Springs households was $86,548. The median income of the rest of Atlanta was $69,000 that same year. However, even 4.0% of Sandy Springs households were living in poverty. I believe I passed some of their houses on my drive around the city. There is a lot of room for people in the middle of the income spectrum. There are low-income apartment complexes and gated million-dollar mansions only a few miles from each other. Ironically, this is typical in all of Metro Atlanta. If you want big city vibes, this video on YouTube included parts of Sandy Springs, as well as Buckhead and Brookhaven. Check it out when you get a chance. What are the demographics of Sandy Springs, GA? 20% of the residents of Sandy Springs are black. Whites make up 60% while Hispanics are 11%. What is the crime rate in the city? A lot of people don't realize this, but the crime rate of the entire country is lower than it has been in decades, and it's on a steady decline. The availability of camera phones would have you swearing things are getting worse. Not to mention, news channels that stay relevant by covering bad news sensationalize crime for higher ratings. But the truth is, crime is down, and in Sandy Springs, it's even 29% lower than in the rest of Georgia. You will be looking at 1,900 crimes for every 100,000 residents. In other words, you are very safe in this city unless you are the cause of turmoil. How are the schools in Sandy Springs? A complete list of the schools can be found at www.sandyspringsga.gov/schools. You will have charter schools like North Springs and Riverwood International to choose from. The public middle schools are Ridgeview and Sandy Springs Middle School. There are 7 major public elementary schools, which are all Fulton County schools. Depending on where you stay, your child could end up in Dunwoody Springs, Herds Ferry Elementary, Woodland Elementary, Spalding Drive Elementary, Lake Forest Elementary, Ison Springs, High Point Elementary. 68% of all kids who attended these schools achieved a bachelor's or better education. They mostly studied the physical and related sciences fields. The Sandy Springs dropout rate data included kids from Athens, Clark County, and Atlanta, but it was still only 10%. How far is Sandy Springs from the Atlanta airport? Metro Atlanta can sometimes be the fastest city I've ever traveled. You can get from the northern suburbs to the southern suburbs in less than an hour. I've been able to leave home, make it to the airport, check in, and catch my flight to the Caribbean in about 2 hours. But then there's Atlanta rush hour. Rush hour usually lasts from maybe 5:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the mornings and 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evenings, with Fridays being the worst. The answer to the question of how long it will take to get to the airport can be very different at different times of the day. The honest answer is 3 hours during rush hour and 45 minutes at other times. 4 hours if you are brave enough to try to get down there on a Friday at 6 p.m. Conclusion: is Sandy Springs a good place to live? If you are looking for hometown country living, Sandy Springs may not be for you. However, if you are a mover and shaker who doesn't mind a noisy city with lots of traffic, this place rocks with its big city-like amenities. There are tons of offices where you could find your dream job. IBM, AT&T, Wells Fargo, State Farm, Remax, Ceridian, and Emory Healthcare are all located and usually hiring in this area of Metro Atlanta. I have an older video on YouTube that included parts of Sandy Springs as well as Buckhead and Brookhaven. Check it out when you get a chance. When you are ready to buy, sell, or rent your home in Atlanta or the metro surrounding areas like Sandy Springs, GA, my real estate agent, Shakia, is looking forward to meeting you. She is the best real estate agent in Georgia with millions of dollars of real estate sold throughout her career. Her contact info and app can be found at. She is literally the nicest and most professional woman I know. Thanks for checking out my video. If you loved it, like and subscribe, and I will be sure to inform you when a new video about a new area in Metro Atlanta drops.